Hello, I'm Cynthia Aguirre in Dallas, and here are your headlines from North Texas. We're getting a new look at Marshawn Kneeland's final moments and the frantic search for the Cowboys defensive end. The Department of Public Safety released videos from the police chase to the moments officers found Kneeland dead. Senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez reports.
Newly obtained DPS video shows the chain of events that unfolded the night Marshawn Kneeland died. It starts with DPS troopers racing down the freeway, trying to stop a black Dodge Charger flying down the highway.
He got above 160 when I was chasing him.
Dash camera video shows the Charger weaving through traffic, troopers losing sight. About 10 minutes later, it crashes into an SUV.
Hey, I'm gonna check with this person that they hit.
And then the driver takes off running.
He just hit me out of nowhere. Yes, ma'am. I don't know what's going on.
Remarkably, the woman was shaken up but not injured.
I saw him in my rearview mirror, like coming as fast as he was, and I was like, oh my God, he's not stopping. And
Officers frantically searched fields and parking garages with their weapons drawn, unsure if Kneeland was armed after finding an empty holster. Police deployed canine officers, drones, and at one point, a trooper jumped into a witness's car to search.
Take me back where you saw him. Go, go, go.
After more than an hour into the search, troopers began to piece together who they were looking for.
Just so y'all know, this vehicle that Ben returns to the Dallas Cowboys.
Soon they confirmed what no one wanted to believe. The man who ran from that crash was Marshawn Kneeland, a 23-year-old rookie defensive end.
Defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys.
I think he might have played last night.
As the night wore on, concerns grew deeper as information came in that Kneeland was threatening to harm himself.
He was texting them and his family goodbye.
Troopers and officers continued searching with urgency as Kneeland's girlfriend tried to help.
Does anybody know that if the girlfriend has his location?
Hours later, troopers found Kneeland. We're not showing that video out of respect for his family and friends, but recordings show troopers wishing they could have found him sooner.
Right there.
His loss leaves a community and a team in mourning for a young man who was loved on and off the field. In Dallas, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
The Louisville Fire Department is looking into the cause of a fire that killed a woman and hurt 4 family members. It happened Wednesday morning at the Eagle Ridge Mobile Home Park. Firefighters say one person was able to get out before they arrived, but 3 adults and a child had to be pulled out. Everyone was taken to the hospital where a woman died. 3 victims are still in critical condition. Again, no word on what caused that deadly fire, but investigators say it appears to be an accident. The Fort Worth Stockyards Daily Cattle Drive will officially return on Friday. Last week, the traditional drive was postponed out of caution over equine herpes virus cases, a virus that can be deadly to horses. Experts say it sometimes appears like a simple cold, but it can affect a horse's lungs and nervous system. According to the Fort Worth Herd website, no cases have been reported in their animals. The pause gave vets time to ensure the herd is healthy and ready to hit the streets again. Well, cancer has a way of taking so much from patients during the fight to survive. Jobin Puniker introduces us to a woman looking to reclaim her identity amid that battle.
We ready? You can come sit right here. She knows Greg because Greg came yesterday. Yep. Okay.
Thank you for giving me a fresh head.
I bring a huge footprint, but I try to minimize it.
Every time you see Catherine Stevenson take a seat, she takes back
like I'm
her strength.
Scared, excited, if that makes sense.
It wasn't always that way. Just a year ago, she and her husband Greg sat down for the news no person wants.
Do you mind if the feet are further back?
That's fine.
It's a bummer. There's no shortcuts. Like, it is a bummer. This is a bummer.
Breast cancer, invasive ductal carcinoma.
My last treatment is on Tuesday.
She had a clean scan the year before.
It's the most common breast cancer that exists. It's probably about 90% of all diagnoses of breast cancers today.
Before Catherine ever felt cancer, she felt the rounds of chemo.
Okay, we'll start on this side. I had good hair, like long, thick.
And this mother of 5 made a promise in that moment to fight this cancer on her terms.
And you think it's over, but it's not.
She took her hair before cancer could.
Okay.
My kids think I'm a genie.
Greg took his
Solidarity.
because, of course, he would.
We're juntos. We're together. Juntos together in Spanish.
Catherine also took a seat
I got this.
Actually, I
You got this, and I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to take back her identity.
I tell them I'm an artist and my medium is people.
Marina Hussein started House of Henna
This is one of the most intimate things you could do.
when her college friends needed to hide the self-inflicted scars
Bend your head back.
they didn't want the world to see.
And that was the first time that I was like, whoa.
Wow, I love it already. I'm so excited.
Catherine is getting a henna crown for her head,
Because being sick sucks.
just in case you're wondering who's in charge.
You're gonna make me cry too.
It gives you something to think about other than, holy crap, I have cancer.
And this is number 6.
6 rounds of chemo, 8 months after her diagnosis.
Every time I see a drop, I'm like, die, 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 die.
There is nothing more liberating than what is about to happen.
Shall we go?
And if only cancer could hear it.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Off. Yeah, not a fan. 0 stars. This is the poem that
This is a moment she'll stand for.
the course is run. I'm on my way.
The bell rings for the end of chemo treatments, but not cancer. Hopefully soon. But this is still on her terms.
Okay, one more time. Mom, thanks for coming.
Are you gonna be okay? Okay. Why did you choose a turtle versus last time you did an elephant?
A turtle means patience and endurance,
Okay.
kindness.
Catherine wanted a sea turtle blended into flowers. Henna is temporary.
This is like the most sensitive part.
Only very few know what it means to lose your hair.
I'm so happy that this helps you.
It makes me very happy.
That's good.
So much of cancer sucks. So much you can't control.
I love
It's
it.
very, very feminine.
That's what we're here for.
But then a moment comes that makes you feel like you again.
Me. I just love it. I see the less weird. Just makes me feel, I think it makes me feel pretty.
In DFW,
So that's why I like it.
I'm Jobin Puniker.
And those are your headlines from North Texas.
Hello there, Mia Grady here with a look at what's making headlines in Houston, starting with the cleanup that has just begun for dozens of families who watched tornadoes rip through their neighborhoods. The National Weather Service has confirmed on Monday 2 different tornadoes carved paths across the Klein and Cypress areas. And as Aniele Ruiz shows us, dozens of homes across several neighborhoods were damaged.
In Klein, the sound of chainsaws is now the soundtrack of Thanksgiving week. Families who expected to be cooking and gathering are instead standing in front of homes they barely recognize.
I walked out the front door, and that's when we saw the whole front end of the house was gone.
Marilyn Anker was home when the storm hit. She was just getting ready to head to the store to buy everything she needed to host her family for Thanksgiving. But now those plans have changed.
Dearest family, I love you all, but my house just got hit by a tornado. I can't host.
Holiday helpers surged into the neighborhood, working long hours to clear debris and help families start over. Helpers like Abner and his crew, who says the work is tough, but he's grateful they can help in the time of need, even in a time when it seems like everything is dividing us.
What I love about Houston is it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from, people show up for each other, and I think it just shows you, putting everything aside, you got to go in and help people.
The help extending to men and women in uniform, keeping damaged homes and properties safe.
We are actively patrolling, so don't come in here, because you come in here and you're up to no good, we're going to catch you and we're going to arrest you and we're going to remove you from this area.
And although many families may not be hosting Thanksgiving this year, they say there's still something to be grateful for.
Possessions can be replaced, houses can be fixed, people can't.
Well, the power is on for most people here in the area, but the constables tell us there are still a few houses without power, and that's why they will be out here patrolling this area. In Klein, Anayeli Ruiz, KHOU 11 News.
Now this, if your health insurance renewal was a jaw-dropping experience, you are not alone. Premiums are spiking as federal subsidies expire, leaving families scrambling to adjust. Marcelina Benito talked with those folks feeling the impact and a health insurance broker with tips to soften the blow.
Len and Mia, the sticker shock here is real. One woman's $250 a month premium is about to skyrocket up to $1,100 a month. And she's not alone. Families all over are now facing some brutally hard decisions.
I was like flabbergasted. Really, I couldn't believe the figure that I saw.
Maria Elena Sade is one of 24 million people currently on Obamacare. 93% of enrollees count on federal tax credits to reduce costs.
Let's have that debate.
If Congress does nothing, subsidies set to expire by the end of the year. Maria Elena's premium will spike by 340%.
$1,100 a month premium. Can you afford that?
No, it's gonna be kind of a disaster for a lot of people. I'm a bit stressed. The more you advance,
Across town, Elena Vega also weighing her options.
I cannot afford not to have health care.
Her premium jumping from $530 a month this year to almost $1,000 a month beginning in January.
Right now, we're going to have to cut in some other expenses that we have in order for me to be able to pay my premium.
And what type of pressure does that put on a household or on you?
It's big pressure. I'm upset because this should not be happening.
Scouring healthcare.gov, cheaper alternatives are hard to find.
Are people worried about this?
Well, heck yeah.
Stephen Herbert is a health insurance broker in Houston. Last few weeks, he's been busy trying to help clients getting hit with huge increases too.
He went from $500 to $1,400 a month. I'd say that's substantial.
Herbert fears many will choose to drop coverage altogether, turning folks to ERs to seek care when they need it, spiking healthcare costs even higher for everyone.
To me, it seems like a vicious cycle. It's so complicated, deductible, out-of-pocket, co-insurance, co-pay, very confusing to people.
His best advice, shop around on healthcare.gov and consider the bronze plans. They're HSA friendly this year and could mean real savings.
Look at the gold premium versus the bronze premium, move to the bronze, take that difference in that premium and put it in your own tax deductible savings account.
Maria Elena hopeful that, and a last-minute move by Congress, can help her hang on to affordable coverage.
You shouldn't have to go broke to get health insurance.
And a few quick tips and solutions. If you're switching plans, you'll want to double check and make sure your doctor and hospital are both in network. You don't want any surprises later. Of course, you'll want to read the fine print so you know exactly what it is that you're signing up for. And most importantly, before you make any sort of move, talk to a licensed agent. It's free and you can find one on healthcare.gov. And remember that the ACA open enrollment ends on December 15th. We'll have all this info for you on KHOU.com. Back to you.
Appreciate the tips and solutions, Marcelino. Just before Thanksgiving, volunteers spent the day getting ready for this year's Operation Turkey Houston South Central. Agochi Aloka dropped by the Fifth Ward Church where meal prep and volunteer work were in full swing.
We're inside St. Mary's brand new kitchen where right now they are cooking 64 turkeys. Now out of this 64, it'll be a part of the 100 turkeys they are cooking in total that'll be split up amongst the 1,000 Thanksgiving meals to feed those who need it the most. It'll take about 5 to 6 hours before it's done.
We're here celebrating the new $2.2 million commercial kitchen that Operation Turkey will prepare the meals. The idea is to provide meals to the homeless and senior citizens in our community. The men were here till 10 o'clock last night cooking the turkeys, seasoning. Now the ladies and everybody are going to start the physical cooking of everything else, the sides and all of that.
Those sides include 725 pounds of vegetables that will be paired up with other Thanksgiving food favorites. Natasha Wilson, who is the city leader for Operation Turkey Houston South Central, tells me dozens of volunteers showed up at St. Mary's Church Center as early as 7 a.m.
The message here is to let people know that they are not forgotten, that I want to make sure that every person gets a meal, and that's important to me. They get a meal on Thanksgiving Day.
The volunteers were broken up into groups that included families who brought their kids and some nonprofit organizations too.
Let them know that they're not alone, that there are people that care about them and want to make sure that they have a meal this Thanksgiving season, and to make sure that they don't feel left out.
I think it's very important for people of our age group, the people coming up, to come out here and help people who need the help.
Tomorrow, they will deliver the Thanksgiving meals to people who could use a hot meal, including people at homeless encampments.
We start plating the meals. We have drivers. We still need drivers, y'all.
Scan this QR code on this flyer if you want to volunteer on Thanksgiving Day. Ugochi Iloka, KHOU 11 News.
A huge effort with an even bigger heart, making sure no one feels forgotten this Thanksgiving. And with that, that's a wrap of your Houston Headlines. I'm Mia Gradney.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. The nice weather will continue across much of Texas through today. Temperatures look seasonally cool and a little warm for others. So the farther south you go into Texas today, temperatures will naturally be a little bit warmer. Looking at the Panhandle, we are looking at mostly sunny skies this afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 50s. We stay in the upper 50s on Friday, but we've got a strong cold front moving in for this weekend. So on Saturday, there's going to be a chance of rain, but we also have temperatures dropping down into the mid 40s. Now on Friday, for a lot of us, we will start to see increasing clouds, but the rain generally should hold off into far west Texas. So most of us will be dry on Friday, but on Saturday, many of us will actually see that rain with the cold front moving in sometime Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and by the time we get into Sunday, it will be significantly cooler for many of us. So looking at Austin today, temperatures in the low 60s, upper 60s tomorrow, and we still make it into the mid 70s on Saturday, despite the fact that rain will be moving in by then. Now, DFW, much of North Texas, we're going to be in the upper 50s to around 60 degrees today and tomorrow. The rain moves in for your Saturday, but temperatures still are able to make it into the mid 60s, so we still look fairly warm. If you're traveling south around Houston, we're looking at mid and upper 60s the next couple of days, but by the time we get to Saturday, as of right now, there's still a rain chance, but temperatures actually make it into the low 70s. Waco, pretty much the same thing. There's going to be that chance of rain on Saturday, but temperatures still make it into the 70s. But for today, we're looking at mostly sunny skies, a few clouds across parts of South Texas. Overnight tonight, things look pretty quiet, nice and cool. And by the time we get into tomorrow morning, we are going to start to see those clouds increase. And then for your Friday afternoon, we're expecting mostly cloudy skies. But notice even at noon, we really don't see too many rain chances statewide. It really doesn't start to increase really far out to the west until late Friday evening. By the time we get to Friday night into Saturday morning, that's when that coverage of the rain will start to increase. So during the day Saturday, that is when many of us will start to see that rain move through. So if you're doing any traveling for tomorrow, temperatures in the upper 50s across North Texas, but you can see some of that rain trying to move into some of our far western counties. You can see Big Bend temperatures in the upper 60s with that chance of rain and storms. The farther east you go, it's just going to take a lot longer before that rain actually moves in. So traveling weather-wise on Friday, I think you're going to be just fine. Now, looking at the big picture nationally, if you happen to be traveling around the Great Lakes region, there is going to be that chance of some snow. And also in the Northwest Pacific, another storm system looks a little wet up there. Temperatures on the cooler side, but the farther north you go, the colder the temperatures will be. So eventually we would see that rain transition over to areas of snow. But much of the country honestly looks dry, and it just kind of looks very seasonal at this point. So for later tonight, it is going to get pretty chilly. We're looking at temperatures dropping down into the low 40s with clouds increasing across North Texas. But again, the farther south you go, temperatures not as cold, but still fairly cool. We've got an overnight low of about 49 degrees in Houston. You can see that 57 down in Corpus Christi and 41 degrees tonight in Abilene. So again, for your Friday, if you're doing any traveling, honestly, I think you're going to be just fine. Looking at that air quality index, it looks like we're in the green pretty much statewide, so good to go there. So for the next few days, again, for West Texas, let's start out there. We're going to see lots of sunshine today. Temperatures look very nice, especially for this time of year, with highs in the upper 60s in El Paso, but in Lubbock and Midland, we're looking at those low to mid 60s. Now, tomorrow afternoon, Around El Paso, we're still looking at partly cloudy skies, dry during the day, temperatures in the low 70s, and then by Saturday, the rain should actually move well off to the east, so we're looking at that high of about 70 degrees still. In Lubbock, though, a little bit different. I think we're going to see a lot more cloud cover come Friday, and then by Saturday, there's going to be that chance of rain and temperatures stay in the low 60s. Now, across central Texas and Austin, we've got mid and upper 60s the next couple of days. The rain should be moving in sometime late Friday evening. By the time we get to Saturday, we've got scattered showers, maybe a few thunderstorms, but we still happen to make it into the mid 70s around Fredericksburg. We're staying pretty cool the next couple of days. We're going to stay in the low 60s, but on Saturday, with this small chance of rain, temperatures still make it into the low 70s. South Texas is going to be a little bit warmer, of course, around Corpus Christi. Low 70s today, mid 70s tomorrow, low 80s. Though on your Saturday, with that chance of rain, Laredo, we're also looking at the low 70s for the next couple of days. Low 80s do return, though, by the time we start off the weekend on Saturday. North Texas, again, I think we stay dry for today and into tomorrow, but the rain should be moving in late tomorrow evening, late tomorrow night, and for your Saturday, we do have scattered showers. Not a complete washout. I think most of the rain will end late in the afternoon and early evening, but nonetheless, we will be in the mid 60s by the time we get to Sunday afternoon, though it will be pretty chilly. East Texas around Houston, mid and upper 60s the next couple of days. We also have that chance of rain on Saturday. Beaumont, we're also looking at the chance of rain. The same story in Tyler. We've got the chance of rain on Saturday. So if you have any outdoor plans this weekend, honestly, neither day looks the greatest. We've got the rain on Saturday, and then on Sunday it looks chilly. So you're going to have to bundle up by the time we end the weekend. And out in the valley around Brownsville, we've got low 80s today, but we should be in the mid 80s by Saturday.
I'm Isis Romero, and this is the news in San Antonio. Another arrest has been made in a crash over the summer that killed 5 people. Police say it involved a stolen car.
Got nothing to do with that.
Nothing? What happened? 19-year-old Ethan Gonzalez is now facing a long list of felony charges. Police say Gonzalez was speeding in a stolen Camaro before sideswiping a bus, sending it into an 18-wheeler. 5 people died and 15 others were seriously injured. Police say they identified Gonzalez through DNA found inside the Camaro. 3 other suspects are facing charges in connection to the crash. A 17-year-old has been arrested and charged after attacking a group of tourists with pepper spray on the Riverwalk. Investigators say on November 15th, the attack left a woman, toddler, and multiple passengers hurt. Now Cassidy Trevino faces 3 charges. Meredith Haas brings us the latest.
Trevino's bond is set at just over $100,000, and the 17-year-old was reportedly already on probation when it all happened.
You don't know nothing about me. Talk my.
It was the TikTok video that went viral on social media, and it would be key for investigators to make an arrest. It happened on the Riverwalk back on November 15th. According to police, the victims involved had an argument on the Go Rio boat. It ended with 17-year-old Cassidy Trevino being asked to get off. That's when police say she sprayed pepper spray, hitting multiple people, including a 3-year-old child. The video of it going down would be key to her arrest. According to her arrest warrant, Trevino was identified by her probation officer, and residents who saw the viral video began calling in tips. Now 11 days later, Trevino was arrested and booked into the Bexar County Jail on bonds totaling $110,000. She's facing 2 charges of injury to a child or elderly person and 1 charge of assault causing bodily injury. If Trevino bonds out, she's mandated to be on house arrest and has a no contact order. Reporting for KENS 5, I'm Meredith Haas.
Police need your help finding the person who assaulted an 8-year-old and stole a family's car from a parking lot. According to Crime Stoppers, the vehicle was left on so an iPad could charge. When the boy returned to turn off his parents' car, he was assaulted by someone sitting in the driver's seat. That person took off with the car. This happened around 4:30 p.m. last Friday in the 100 block of Bandera Road. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP. Grocery stores are packed with people getting ready for their big Thanksgiving meal. But if you're concerned about overindulging, Jeremy Baker has some tips.
Thanksgiving is often advertised as the largest meal of the year, but ingesting too many of those tasty treats could launch you into the not-so-festive food coma.
I think everything is good in moderation, so it's just important to make sure that you still have a balanced meal when you go into Thanksgiving.
Experts say before the big meal, eat lighter, but still eat. Don't avoid eating to make room for dinner because that often leads to overeating. During the meal, avoid trigger foods that could mess with your digestive system. Chew slowly and chew well to give your body time to tell you that you are full, and keep the chat light because heavy discussions lead to stress, which takes energy away from digestion. And we've all heard Tom the Turkey say too much of him could make you sleepy and sluggish, but is he really telling you the truth about the turkey's tryptophan?
Your body is processing a lot all at once. Your body's really overworking and it can just get really exhausted from that. It's just gonna send signals to your brain that you're tired.
If you think you overdid it after your meal, hydrate to aid digestion, chew ginger to relieve nausea, gas, and bloating, drink aloe vera juice to help break down fats and sugars, resist the urge to lie down if you're overstuffed, and sip drinks wisely and slowly, especially with ginger, which helps food to get out of the stomach more quickly.
It just kind of helps things move through the digestive tract a little bit quicker and also just aids the process so it doesn't feel as discomforting.
Going for a brisk walk after the meal is a great way to get your digestive system moving, and if you do it with family or friends, it could be the beginning of a new holiday tradition. In the studio, Jeremy Baker, KENS 5.
Volunteers are working to make sure no one goes without a meal for Thanksgiving. Operation Turkey is cooking 3,000 meals for those in need. Earl Stoudemire has the story.
Volunteers have turkeys in the smoker at Sumo Japanese restaurant, working hard to serve the community.
We brought the Central Catholic Wagame dinner pit, which can fit 36 turkeys. And then we have a pit here from the San Antonio Rodeo team. It's got another 12 birds on it.
Operation Turkey is a national program aiming to serve 50,000 meals. San Antonio's goal is to make 3,000.
We keep about 20% of our 3,000 unallocated for the homeless and unsheltered. We work really closely with social workers, caseworkers, really any organization that is trying to feed the people that are in less fortunate situations.
The hand-delivered plates will have mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, corn, green beans, and dessert. Care packages will also be included.
A water bottle, some toiletries, a warm blanket, anything that can really be packaged alongside the meal and delivered with them.
Rachel Lopez with Operation Turkey says the goal for plates will grow every year as the organization works to eradicate hunger one meal at a time. Steve Ayala with the Knights of Columbus Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church says his team is always ready to step up to the plate.
Thanksgiving is all about giving, and so we give to those in need. We have the tools to help, so why not share it?
Well, 3 female gorillas have arrived at the San Antonio Zoo, marking the return of gorillas to the Alamo City for the first time in 35 years. The move is part of a collaboration with the Atlanta Zoo and the Gorilla Species Survival Plan. The trio will be among the first residents of Congo Falls, the zoo's new 2-acre world-class habitat featuring lush landscapes, waterfalls, and expansive viewing areas. Congo Falls officially opens to the public Saturday, December 13th at 10 a.m., and it will soon be home to a total of 7 gorillas. And that's the news in San Antonio.
Hi, I'm Leslie Adamy, and here's a look at some of what's happening here in South Texas. Lawmakers are adjusting to big changes after the latest congressional redistricting, and it's causing uncertainty on both parties. Local reps like Vicente Gonzalez have weighed in, and State Rep Todd Hunter, who chairs the House Redistricting Committee, introduced the new congressional map earlier this year. Some districts have shifted so dramatically that many lawmakers say they're now far from their political base or hometown, making it a challenge to navigate the new landscape.
We've had a couple of Republican members of Congress in Texas say they're not running again because even if those districts are Republican, they've changed dramatically. It's no longer in their political base. It's no longer in their hometown, or it's no longer in their home county.
And so what happened was all
Congressman Gonzalez also confirmed that despite the uncertainty, he will be seeking re-election in next year's midterms. It would be his 6th term serving in Congress. Well, there's a new program at the Nueces County Sheriff's Office that's teaching financial literacy to female inmates. Program leaders say that in just the first 2 sessions, they've already had full classrooms, and it's all possible thanks to a partnership with the Corpus Christi Literacy Council and a TAM-UCC doctoral student who's teaching those classes. Our Natalia Osuna reports.
At the Nueces County Jail, a new financial literacy program is helping female inmates put important skills in their toolbox.
Read the fine print on everything.
For Natasha De La Rosa and Shelby Wilson,
Really, you're just expected to know that when you become an adult, and there's not a class that teaches you. So this class does help you in teaching you. No, I didn't learn this in school. Yeah, for sure.
Judge Melissa Madrigal
I think there was 32 people in the first class.
played a key role in creating the partnership between the Sheriff's Office and the Corpus Christi Literacy Council.
If your case goes forward, and you're placed on probation, you're gonna have to budget to be able to pay probation fees, attorney's fees. All these fees come to count, and we need to make sure that they're successful. The women right now, they're gonna go home and they're gonna teach, hopefully, their kids.
Ali Ibrahimov over at TAM-UCC teaches a financial literacy class.
The data tells us financial literacy can impact the recidivism rate, and with financial education, they can re-enter the society much more successfully.
Saying it was awe-inspired by his PhD research and the questions that kept coming up.
Where I will live, how I will budget my income, how to avoid predatory loans, and how do I rebuild my credit, because that was one of the biggest issues that they are facing with, how to stay financially stable long enough to stay out of the system.
Captain Belinda Bustamante with the Sheriff's Office says it goes beyond learning new skills.
They're people's mothers, daughters, fathers, brothers, sisters, and all they need is sometimes they just need somebody to guide them.
And the class is for women in all types of financial situations.
They'll hopefully be a little better prepared to manage, their finances and not fall into, a lot of debt. And if they do have debt, they're teaching them how to consolidate and how to work out of that.
Meanwhile, Natasha and Shelby say they plan to continue attending these classes and encourage others to do the same.
The knowledge that you gain from this class is definitely something to retain for your everyday life.
Natalia Osuna, 3 News.
And that's a quick look at some of what's happening here in South Texas.
Hi, I'm Brennan Gurley, and here's what's making headlines across East Texas. Texas State Representative Jay Dean says U.S. Ambassador to Mexico has officially reached out to the Mexican embassy, pushing for answers in the case of East Texan Caden Hawkins, who's been detained for more than 9 months. He was taken into custody back in March after crossing the border with a legally registered firearm in his vehicle. His family says his GPS misdirected him while he was traveling for work. Dean and Senator Cole Hefner have been working to bring Caden home, and Dean says just in the past week, progress has moved faster than the previous 9 months. He's urging federal officials to step in and help secure Hawkins' return to Hallsville. A holiday headache for folks who order turkeys from East Texas-based Greenberg Smoked Turkey. The company says 1,000 or more turkeys were delayed at a Dallas area FedEx hub, and those turkeys may not make it in time for Thanksgiving dinner. The Tyler-based company sells more turkeys than anyone else in Texas, but this time the turkeys weren't moving. They were stuck at the hub with at least 1,000 packages affected.
I will say this, that no, this is not the norm, and it's very upsetting, but all we can do at this point is work through it, work the problem, and try to take care of the customer best we can.
Greenberg says taking care of their customers is the top priority. The company has been around for 86 years, with some customers ordering them since the very beginning. He says if you don't get your turkey, he sincerely apologizes and promises to make it right. They are working one-on-one with every customer affected by the delay. Thanksgiving is here, and over the weekend, hundreds of families in Panola County are getting some much-needed help with their holiday meals.
It's our big Thanksgiving food box drop. We're going to pass out. We have boxes full of all kinds of canned food, corn and green beans and carrots and stuffing mix. With the government shutdown and everything happening and just the economy the way that it is, man, the need is just increasingly growing. And so we're just trying to do whatever we can to help out.
The prices of food now,
I wouldn't be able to buy groceries. But this helps me keep food in the house.
It's going to feed a lot of families that probably won't have Thanksgiving.
This year, we're anticipating 650 families coming through this.
It means a lot to me, and I cannot believe that they do this for us. Wouldn't, be able to do it, because I didn't think we was going to be able to do Thanksgiving. And it looks like now that we're going to be able to have it.
It's not only our mission at Mission Carthage, but it's also the mission that Christ gave us to make sure we're taking care of those that are in need and helping out.
Some people don't get very much income and they can't make it. And they need this extra help to make their Thanksgiving meal.
TG&R, one of the oil field services out here, and Basin Drilling have donated 650 fully cooked spiral cut hams this year to help families out.
It's very comforting to know that there are people in this world that will help you. And that means a lot.
It's lifted a great deal of stress from my shoulders. And again, I'm just thankful.
Our hope is that this is way more than just a box of food, but this is just a tangible way of the love of Christ that's pouring into these families.
And that's a wrap of your East Texas headlines. I'm Brennan Gurley.
In Austin, I'm Mark Mullins. Texas's newly approved $3 billion fund for dementia research is temporarily on ice. Nearly 70% of voters approved Prop 14 earlier this month, but a trio of voters filed lawsuits alleging the voting machines that were used in the election were faulty. Here's reporter Daniel Perot.
Texas's $3 billion dementia research fund is on ice after 3 voters filed a lawsuit claiming voting machines across Texas are flawed. They argue the machines were not properly certified, so the court should throw out the election results and order a new election.
That's something that's not correct.
Natalia Contreras is a reporter for VoteBeat. She says the Secretary of State's office has an extensive certification process.
A voting equipment vendor can't even come to Texas or apply for state certification if they're not have already been federally certified.
We reached out to the people who filed the lawsuit but didn't hear back. Their complaint doesn't explain why they're only challenging Prop 14 and not the other 16 props voters also approved.
How do you throw out just that set of results, call for a redo across the state? This type of voting equipment that's being challenged was used.
The Dementia Prevention Research Institute of Texas is structured similarly to the state's cancer fund and will administer grants. The $3 billion investment from the state's general revenue would sustain the institute for 10 years. During the legislative session, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick championed the fund as one of his priorities.
We do have the wherewithal sometimes to do great big things that impact everybody.
In a statement, Patrick called the lawsuit disgusting and a disservice to the roughly 500,000 Texans who suffer from some form of dementia and their families who suffer along with them. This suit is just the latest in a growing trend in recent years of lawsuits targeting Texas constitutional amendments making claims about voting machines. In September, lawmakers passed House Bill 16 to address this. It allows constitutional amendments to take effect even if the election is challenged in court. But that law won't go into effect until December 4th, making it too late for the Dementia Fund.
These are just the real life consequences that we have when there's just so much misinformation out there.
That was Daniel Perot reporting. Lieutenant Governor Patrick says he wants the lawsuit to be dealt with quickly. He's calling on the legal system to take expedient action to allow DPRIT to become law. The Pflugerville Fire Department saw record-breaking interest in recruitment this year. The department received more than 700 applications for its fall firefighter and EMT cadet class. The record interest comes as departments across the country face steep declines in recruitment. Fire Captain Trevor Stokes tells us cadet applications are usually under 200, and they only take about 50 people into a cadet class. He credits the record interest in the Pflugerville Fire Department to their community presence through job fairs and high school fire department academy, bringing in a new generation of firefighters.
They can actually graduate with a firefighter cert and an EMT cert, so they can go work anywhere in the state if they want. What we have found, though, is when we open that opportunity up, we have people that come from the community who want to stay in the community and they want to serve the community. And that's been a big deal.
Captain Stokes says their civilian academy is also doing good things for recruitment. That program allows civilians to get paid for firefighter and EMT training. Stokes says that's helpful in removing financial barriers for people who want to serve but can't put a paycheck on hold. Austin police say they've completed what they're calling shoplifting blitz operations. They arrested 11 people and recovered more than $12,000 worth of stolen items. For the past 3 days, officers partnered with retailers in the Canyon Ridge, Lakeline, and Domain shopping areas. At each of the locations on your screen, police arrested suspected thieves, as well as someone who had an outstanding warrant for a drug charge. The police department plans to keep working with stores to identify repeat offenders, deter criminal activity, and ensure that shopping is safe for customers. An Austin woman is using her voice in a different way to raise awareness about domestic violence. A survivor herself, she founded a nonprofit to help people who find themselves in similar situations. Reporter Kelsey Sanchez shows us the woman is taking her mission to the airwaves.
I am a songwriter to my heart.
Courtney Santana has had a love for music as long as she can remember.
My mom would tell this story about me being 3 years old, and the only place in the house that had tile was the closet. So she would put me in the closet and I would just tap dance all night. And she was just like, you are always looking for ways to express yourself creatively.
So Santana sang and danced and even took up some acting over the years. And now she's coming out with her first album, Living Through It All.
I'm going on tour with the album next year, and I hope to go to 10 cities across the country.
She just didn't think her survival story would be the path leading her to this dream.
I'd never thought that that would happen, and honestly, when I went to the shelter, I really didn't enjoy the time. It was hard to be away from everything that I knew. I was still working hard, paying my bills, but I wasn't living at home.
25 years ago, Santana and her 2 children were experiencing homelessness after she left an abusive relationship. She lived behind a Walmart with 7 other women before going to a shelter.
Living in my car is something important for people to understand. It's like there's a whole other set of mitigating circumstances that happen after a person leaves their violence.
Since then, she's created the nonprofit group Sanctuary is Here, aimed at helping domestic violence survivors get emergency housing, and has paved a new life for herself and her kids.
I'm thankful that my children have grown up. Now they're in their 20s, and they are now ending that generational curse of abuse in our family.
It's a hope she wants others to take away from her music.
You were changing.
So they know they too can live through it all.
Love this good shouldn't be this hard.
In Austin, Kelsey Sanchez, KVUE News.
Well, we are getting a sneak peek of the new Hope Outdoor Gallery, a project in the making since 2019. The park hosted a soft opening before its official public launch at its new location on Friday. The gallery was first founded in 2010 on the walls of a failed condo development from the 80s in downtown Austin. You may remember it as Graffiti Park. Hundreds of artists came together to create an ever-evolving display and the only outdoor gallery park of its kind in the country. The original location on Baylor Street officially closed in 2019. Since then, the gallery has been working to transition to a new permanent home near the Austin airport.
You can still play, paint, do all the other things, but you're going to learn some more great things that we have at the park now. But on the inside, we have a mural gallery inside the H and the O. The outside is free play. There's plenty of parking and lots of other things to check out.
The layout of the gallery spells out hope, which will be visible to people flying in and out of Austin. Cool stuff there. Those are the headlines in Austin. I'm Mark Mullins.
Here are your headlines from Southeast Texas. I'm Mark Armstrong. In Jefferson County, prosecutors dropping murder charges against a man saying there isn't enough evidence to move forward. Herbert Freelo, he was arrested back in March in connection to Donisha Buckner's murder in Port Arthur. Now, the original investigation has cited surveillance video, cell phone data, and gunshot residue in Freelo's vehicle after Buckner was shot and died in the hospital back in January. But prosecutors now saying that evidence against Mr. Freelo is not enough to take to a jury. Now, we spoke to Freelo about the months that he spent in jail before bonding out.
It was terrible. I was around everything and everyone, and definitely crying. But I'm not used to being around a lot of people at one time like that, and not knowing them was horrifying.
Sharon Shelvins, Buckner's mother, believes police botched this case, and she says that she wants to find out who is really responsible.
And my story has been, and it's still going to be my story, that all I want is justice for the person who did it.
Port Arthur Police Chief Tim Duraso telling 12 News that their work isn't over, and in a statement, he said in part, quote, Port Arthur Police Department is still investigating and will continue to follow associated leads to this crime. Well, 12 News is revisiting a Beaumont woman that we spoke with this time last year, Mary Smith. She got to walk into a newly renovated home last Thanksgiving, and her home was left with the storm damage from 2024, and her insurance, it wouldn't cover all the expenses, but a nonprofit stepped in and helped make repairs for free. 12 News reporter Cameron Birch says she has an update on Smith's journey.
I feel wonderful. I really do.
Beaumont woman Mary Smith started noticing soft spots in her floor in 2024, but didn't realize how extensive the damage was until her son visited.
And what really scared me is that when he was leaving out, he was walking out and he fell through the floor. And that was very scary.
Smith immediately called her insurance, but she didn't get the help she was hoping for.
And they told me that it wasn't really anything that they could do.
Instead, her agent led her to Michelle Brewer, the director of the Jefferson County Long-Term Recovery Group. The group is dedicated to assisting families after disasters.
So we knew that we had to help her.
However, Mary needed help to apply.
Well, I'm legally blind. I said, so can you just send me the application, mail it to me, and I can get someone to help me? She said, no, I could come and help you to fill it out if you don't mind. I said, no, I sure don't. I said, that'd be a blessing.
With help from Brewer, she was told she'd hear back from them in a few weeks.
It was like about 3 to 4 days.
We tore out all the subfloor and replaced it, and then replaced her floorings to make her home safe, sanitary, and secure.
Crews replaced the flooring in every room of her home. Mary stayed out for nearly 4 weeks, but made it back in time for Thanksgiving.
I guess a person would have to really be in my shoes to understand why I am so grateful for the things that have happened to me.
Smith says the help restored not just her home, but her peace. Today, she walks through every room with confidence, grateful for neighbors, volunteers, and community members who stepped up to help when she needed it most.
And I am very, truly blessed. I thank God every day.
If you'd like to read more about the Long-Term Recovery Group, there will be a link on our website. In studio, Cameron Burchett, 12 News.
And those were your headlines from Southeast Texas.
I'm Lindsay Lippman. Here are your headlines from Central Texas. It's the season of giving, and at Holland ISD, students are making sure their teachers know just how grateful they are. It's our reason to smile. Juliana Jackson brings us a heartwarming story of pie, pride, and paying it forward.
Holland ISD is buzzing with excitement, but it's not about a test or a football game.
Mr. Wiley, have a delivery for you. Yes, I do.
It's about pie.
Thank you.
Dozens of them. And the students delivering them couldn't be more proud.
We're really excited. We are so thankful for all of our faculty, and this was a small token of our appreciation for them.
Thank you for being a teacher. Travel down the road.
The Holland ISD Parent-Teacher Organization put together this Thanksgiving tradition, giving every teacher and staff member a chance to pick their favorite pie to take home for the holiday. Principal Matt McCrae says it's become one of the most anticipated events of the year.
Look forward to it every year, I mean, they really do appreciate all that the PTO does for the school, all that the community does.
But the excitement isn't just about the dessert. It's about what it represents for the community.
This is what makes Holland special. It's the community. They bring us and give us the best kids in the world. We hire great teachers, and then the community and the PTO supports those teachers.
Thank you for being a great teacher, Fogel. Thank you.
I hear them talking in the hallways about which pie are you getting and which one's their favorite. They love it.
Holland ISD students tell me that they are giving thanks one slice at a time. Anything shows that we care and we want to support them, even the smallest little thing.
It's this kind of partnership between students, staff, and community that makes Holland ISD more than just a school. As for the principal's pie of choice,
I got the lemon. I'm a big fan of lemon.
Juliana Jackson, 6 News.
Sounds really good. Well, part of Thanksgiving is expressing gratitude and paying it forward. Sydney Walker shows us how a Central Texas family is helping feed others.
A family business.
Should be a ticket for it.
Okay. Once in Hutto, now back home in Temple.
Let's be a part of the community. Let's give back.
Dustin Puska and his family are serving the community dear to their heart.
I told my dad and mom, I said, it'd be really cool if we gave away some meals.
Ma'am, I put the dressing in the floorboard up here.
3 years ago, the Puskas started asking Facebook followers for help finding families.
I think we did, 4 or 5 families that first year? Wasn't a whole lot.
Now a new tradition for the family.
It really just blew up for us.
Helping 4 times as many families as when they started, thanks to an outpouring of donations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy Thanksgiving.
This year we're able to bless 21 families with meals, so it's pretty cool.
It's a lifeline for some.
It means a lot because I didn't know what I was going to be able to do or what I was going to have.
Like Mary Severson.
My family doesn't have a lot with everything that went on this month with the government shutdown and all that.
For her, the holidays are hard.
They are. They're really hard.
But now, it's a time with family to look forward to.
I'm not a very good cook, but my kids deserve a nice meal, and I appreciate the fact that they're doing this.
Jeffrey Hurry feels the same.
It's a really nice thing for Thanksgiving.
It's more than just a home-cooked meal.
It's all made from scratch. Except for the mac and cheese, we let Kraft handle that.
They're spreading blessings.
The Bible says the more you do with what you have, the more God gives you to do with it.
And peace.
Food is comfort.
Oh my gosh, guys, thank y'all so much.
This holiday season.
I appreciate them so much.
And beyond.
If we can get to 50 or more families at Thanksgiving and then again at Christmas, man, it'd be awesome.
And that was Sydney Walker reporting. Those are your headlines from Central Texas.